will not bring it out to sell. So that is the issue. Nigerian factor is part of the thing that is, we are the ones who are increasing this dollar over the Naira. Canada again, the United States giving us a report of what happened in Nigeria when they are not even situated here in this country. I want to ask them a question. On that day of the election, did they know what happened in my own polling unit? When we voted for one political party, another ruling party came with the head of the security agencies, start away with the election materials and go to inside the council and write the result. We all see what happened. For me, this recommendation they are making is no to me, because we know what happened in Nigeria election. Finally.
No, I've got to go. I've got gift from Yenegua. Gift from Yenegua. Welcome. What is on your mind? Please do tell.
Good afternoon, my brother Kalada.
Yeah, good afternoon to you, Gift. Welcome.
Thank you. Let me address this report from US. If the report is against a particular person, you will see clapping of hands. Let me tell you the truth of the matter, Kalada. There's no election in Nigeria history. I put it to all of us. Mention one of the elections in Nigeria that has been free, fair, and credible.
It's not you guys that, I'm not a student of history. I'm not even a political scientist. I'm not even a political enthusiast. But you people would call in and say that 1993 election was the freest and fairest elections ever in Nigeria.
Thank you, Kalada, for reminding me of that. Do you know that a lot of persons complained of that 1993 election that people call credible, free and fair? There was nothing like free and fair.
Tell me
in
about
that 1993 election. Even before the 1993, the creation of this country. And the people who are trying to cry foul, do you know that within them, they even stopped their brothers not to support any other person? I will not mention, but they know themselves, because I use the word, the ones that are crying. Like myself, where I voted. So you want to tell me, in my community, in my ward, that because something happened in your own polling unit or your own ward or your own local government, they want to use it as Nigeria? Are you wiser than America? Do you have satellites that is working satellite in Nigeria? People that will stay in their country and know what is going on in your country. And they have talked about suppression, oppression, all this violence and everything. Tell me which of the election that these things, even the one that you call your Messiah, himself, they rigged him in. Go back to history, find out. His own election was not free and fair from Anambra. Let me put it to those ones that are crying. You continue to.
All right. Thank you very much. I've got Ibiso from Audley Road. Ibiso, welcome. What is on your mind?
Yes, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Thank God it's Friday. Okay, my brother, increase of price is not the issue. These telecommunication people, are their service okay? DSTV, their service is not okay. Now, Canada, for example, now.
I'm listening.
If you are making calls, sometimes you say, I'm calling Canada, it's not reachable.
Okay.
Bad network, maybe I want to reach out for urgent information.
Like yesterday and the day before, yeah?
God bless you. God bless you, Canada. Okay. You want to send message? No way. For emergency message, no way. And they are charging you without even rendering apology to the users. Because we are in a lawless country. Now, DSTV, Canada, once the weather change, small breeze, just will not have network. And they are still charging you for that period that the network is bad. And tomorrow, when the masses speak, the government will say that we are just saying things anyhow. Canada, for example, now I want to send a data to a document to you, and you want to pass it to the bank immediately. Today is Friday for them to close by 4 o'clock. And bad network, no one to maybe I'm in Buguma, you are in Port Harcourt. No way. And then maybe the business want to transact, you can't transact it.
All right. So what's your point? What's your point? Quickly.
LNG, let me use LNG for example. LNG is using gas turbine.
Yeah.
There was a time LNG have problem with their turbine in morning.
Yeah.
All the family in that LNG area, LNG feed them for that for 2 days because people are using a turbine. They are not using stove and all the rest.
All right, so what's your point, please?
In this case here, the government should bring this on a round table and discuss this issue with them. What they increase their prices. So we the masses will enjoy what they are paying for.
Okay, but they have not increased it yet. They have not increased it yet. They are discussing. They are asking for permission. I've got Andy Akpotivier calling from somewhere in Port Harcourt. Andy, welcome. Quickly, your point, please.
Canada, thank you. Good afternoon to you. Canada, I'm going to have a conversation with you around what the United Nations or United States report is about. I will just jump on it and say to you that what can be more true than what they have said? If it's not a reflection, I don't understand the lame dog PDP and Labour Party people who are contesting this. It is not a reflection of what happened. Why did we permit it? If you looked at what they said, they didn't say it was a free, fair, credible election. No,
okay.
As a matter of fact, if you read the report further, you will see where they had said that, there were itches here and there in Lagos. Just read that report. Nigeria should not be unnecessarily emotive or emotional.
Yeah.
They have to do exactly that. The Nigerian state and Nigerian people permitted it. That's what they're trying to tell you.
Oh.
They explicitly told you that the election was warped. The election was flawed. They explicitly told you that the election was not free, fair, and correct. But they didn't use those words, Nakalada. I read it like you read it, and Nigerians should go and read it. But they told you exactly what you needed to hear as Nigerians. What kind of atmosphere have been saying? What made me stay away from radio, stay away from TV? Because we are too docile, Kalada.
Okay.
We are too docile. We permitted it. So it's a reflection of the Nigerian people. It's as simple as that. If you permitted it in Lagos, you permitted it in Rivers State, you permitted it everywhere you had the kind of infractions that you had. So that we cannot begin to talk about the infractions that took place in that election. If I start enunciating, if I start explaining in total everything that happened from my own experience, I'm not talking about what was told me, from my personal experience. When I start talking about it here, we will not close this show. The point is, how was it that those things happened? How was it that they gave victory to who they gave victory to? How was it that everything around the petition, everything happened, and the Nigerian people still permitted it?
All right.
What did I tell them to have told you?
All right.
Exactly what we deserve to, what we needed to hear.
All right.
Which was indeed a reflection of the Nigerian people. And I'm ready to listen to your question if you have any for me.
No, I do not have. I've got to go. I've got Obed who's standing by and he wants to say his thought as well. But thank you very much, Andy, for calling in. All right, I've got Obed from Port Harcourt. Obed, welcome. What is on your mind? I'd like to hear.
Yes, Kalada, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon to you.
I think the U.S., they are not correct in the economic with the truth.
Okay.
And that election does not reflect the collective will of Nigeria.
Oh, okay.
It was clear, and everybody saw it on the day that the result was clear. It was a total mourning to all Nigerians. We saw it. There was no anything in form of jubilation because it was the contrary on what Nigeria actually expected, and they acted. You understand? So if anybody tell you that that election was a reflection of the collective will of Nigeria, I don't think the person is correct. Look, here in Rivers State, we saw what happened. Kalada was coming back from on my duty as one of the agents. I saw Nigerians at NTA. People came out. They stood there until around after 11 p.m. People were still outside waiting to cast their vote. And they casted their vote. You understand? A certain man came from Rumibo in Ward 9, you understand, NTA, and cut away the electoral material. A certain man now, who is, I can mention his name, you understand? Because he feel that he wanted to promote somebody for somebody and become whatever appointment that he has gotten right now. You understand? So it's unfortunate if somebody tell you that election was a true reflection of Nigeria. It was never and can never and will never. Okay, let's look at the statement made by the current president. He said, there's a statement made. He said, run with it, drag it and run with it. This was a statement made by a presidential candidate. Only that can disqualify the election. You understand? So if anybody tell you that a professor who deceived Nigeria and lied to Nigeria, a professor, you understand, was accepting a doctored result coming from every angle. Then you tell me that election was a true reflection of what Nigeria wanted? It was never. You understand? We have all accepted it. It's just all about opening a wound. You understand? So I tell you, Kalada, everything that transferred here in River State, you understand? We all saw it. So it was never and can never.
All right, thank you very much, Obed. Obed strongly disagrees. Andy Akpotive thinks, they made the right statement because it wasn't a free and fair election. Like I said, they said there were skirmishes. There were skirmishes here. They talked about operation of the Igbos in Lagos and other places where, there were one flaw or the other. But then again, what are your thoughts? I like to hear from you. Just says, I was shocked when I read that part too. How can you call someone's name, rewrite the results of the entire River State, and today is awarded a minister, and the U.S. report is saying that the election largely reflected the opinions of Nigerians. The major problem of this country is that our values are so eroded that wrongdoings have no consequences. Sandy with that one. This one says, until Nigerians do away with dollars, our currency, it will continue to rise against Naira. What is President Tinubu doing about this now? Wow, confidence in Lebadim from Ozuzueche. This one says, U.S. report on validation of 2023 Nigeria general elections is not what is expected of the U.S., just as Nigerians cannot validate the Capitol Hill invasion. If the global community saw what happened in the Nigerian presidential election, same global community saw what happened in Capitol Hill invasion, period. Concerned listener. And this one says, good afternoon, Kalada. I agree with the U.S. election report in toto. The election was actually supposed to be won by the PDP and not even the APC or LP. But they muddled up everything, and by so doing, they lost to the APC. The votes that the LP and NNPP presidential candidates garnered were votes that were supposed to go to the PDP, which is their traditional party, coupled with the crisis of the G5 and Ayuma's crisis made the PDP to lose the election. For the LP, they played more of regional and religious politics, and because of that, the Muslims in the far north really did not believe in the Peter Obi candidacy. And the way Nigeria is structured, no political party or presidential candidate can win an election if the far north did not vote for such a candidate. Yes, although I prayed for the LP to win, but it was indeed won by the APC candidate because of so many variables from Ibiba in Port Harcourt. And this one says, election has come and gone. They should please allow us, what is it? Both those that the people put there and those that entered by themselves should work for us, because the dollar is something else now. And why wouldn't the dollar rise when some people are paying school fees in dollars as alleged? What is even wrong with us? Why must we buy things in dollars? Even in Port Harcourt, here's some school take dollars. Even some houses, you pay your rent in dollars. But we are not ready for that conversation. By the way, whoever sent in that message, if there's any landlord who is taking house rent in dollars, please call the FCC hotline and let's have that conversation, really. This one says, greetings, Kalada. I think, but actuality, as revealed by the evidence tendered by the PDP and the Labour Party at the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal, it is indeed true that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu won the 2023 presidential election. The PDP and the Labour Party merely demonstrated emotion and false claims at the tribunal and could not contradict the results as declared by INEC. I have always told them that winning your polling unit or a ward or a local government or even state does not mean that the candidate has won the entire over 196,000 polling units across the federation. Emotion is different from actuality. Talking about suppression of voters, who dare vote for APC in Anambra State on the day of the presidential election? In fact, voters who wanted to vote for President Tinubu were intimidated or beaten in Anambra State. People should learn to separate emotion from facts. Emi Fiaga with that one. But I've got Clef Austin Rodriguez saying, when I said I am not happy, US will definitely say I am happy. These guys shouldn't remind us what we are trying to forget. Yeah, some people will say that. Hello, Canada. Why won't US say the election was good? The election favored them. Their candidate, who will always borrow money from them, and IMF, was wired to win the election. An election that was an open day robbery, which happened in everyone's eyes, or before everyone's eyes. It is Wello Bernard from Port Harcourt. And this is from Terminal Priye Minima. He said, trust you're good. According to the US, the election was a reflection of the people's will. This is a very big slap to the good people of the country. Minima Priye, thank you for that one. And this one says, Naira fall. I think I told everybody then that what we were seeing was America wonder. The more you look, the less you see. And this one says, I used to pray for dollar to come down, thinking that if it comes down, things will come down. The Naira came down, price of things didn't go down. I realized that it was not the dollar that made things cost in the market. It's just black man wickedness. Now the dollar is gone. We will watch those increase the price of old stock. The ordinary Nigerian should go back to the farm. Every compound should plant something, even if it is pepper. We should stop buying things like vegetables and water leaf in the market. For the election, Labour Party, who can conduct simple congress, should stop making a noise about the 2023 election. These people banned the media from monitoring Congress in Anambra. This one says the US report is the definition of falsehood, the most rigged election truncating of the people's will. What a country. Ezekiel Isaiah with that one. All right. What do we have on Facebook? Is the network good for Facebook? Yeah, we do have. This one says, good afternoon, Mr. KDB. It is like the US didn't send their people to monitor or observe the last general elections for them to say it is the reflection of the people's will. It is abnormal, laughable, and a slap on the faces of Nigerians. Shame on the United States of America. And that's coming from Jonah Alaminji, Pekin, and Makri. All right, thank you very much. I'm going to go back to WhatsApp. This one says, Canada greetings, Glow, MTN, Airtel move to raise tariff. I don't blame them for increasing their tariff because they learned it from the federal government that it increases electricity tariff and many others from Tango, I believe. Now, Tango, they are yet to increase. They are asking for permission to increase. They're asking from the NCC, that's the Communications Commission, and they're asking, hey, can we increase? Things are expensive. Things are mad out there. Operation cost is very high, and we can't continue with the current tariff that we are on. This one says, did you say US validates the election results? I still can't believe that report actually came out from the US. You see, talking about presidential elections and post-actions in Nigeria is fruitless. Nigerian youth 18 to 55 years came out en masse and voted, but the majority of the electorates were scammed by the electoral body. Presenter, go and check the meaning of scam. When you tell someone something and do another thing, it is called scam. You see, presenter, at times you have to cut off people whenever they want to use hate speech. One particular caller, okay, all right. Thank you for that correction, but I've got to stop there. I've got to stop there, really. Let's see. This one says, good day, Canada. About the statement of the US, about the statement by the US about the 2023 election is correct. Just to align with my brother Potive, we are just being emotive, and we expect to win a case in court by emotions. I am AKP. AKP, thank you very much. But just to be clear, I'm going to read that article again. I think I read it briefly. I'm going to read it again so we can get a proper insight as to what really is the conversation. Now, the report stated that supporters of the All Progressives Congress, APC, suppressed votes in Igbo-dominated areas during the March 2023 governorship election in Lagos. National elections were widely reported to have reflected the will of voters despite technical and logistical difficulties and some irregularities. Many independent observers who assessed the results of the presidential, legislative, and state level elections during the year reflected the will of voters despite reports of voter suppression and vote buying, campaigning at polling stations, lack of ballot secrecy, violence, and intimidation. Now, you see, they did not say, like Andy has said, that the election was free, fair, and flawless. But they said, irrespective of that, it reflects the will of the people. So I don't know what you make of that. Viral videos on social media showed APC supporters in Ojo, LJ in Lagos threatening to attack ethnic Igbo voters presumed to be pro-Obi. In Etiosa, APC supporters also attacked journalists and in some cases shut down voting and prevented non-Yoruba voters from accessing polls. They similarly destroyed property and physically blocked voters in Amowo or Dauphin. According to videos posted on social media, police officers were present but failed to respond to attacks, the report read. So there was nowhere where they said it was a free, fair, and credible election. But, it was a reflection of the will of the people. So I don't know what you make of that. But I don't know. I'm going to read some more messages. Because I've got a lot. Dave says the presidential election was not a reflection of the people's will in Rivers State, but the governorship election was a reflection of the people's will at B. Now, wow for Nigerians. The same election body conducted a good governorship election, but a bad presidential election. Dave with that one. But Dave, we've seen reports where they said they sat down somewhere and wrote results. So I don't know. Oyigbo Baye Michael says on the U.S. report, Kalada, below is a message I sent to your colleague in the same studio in utter disappointment in the outcome of the election. The elections held here and the people, young and old, came out in unbelievably huge numbers to participate, just as you have always urged the people to do. Some of us crisscrossed the city to get our polling units like we were going for a national feast because we wanted and still want a great country for all. But our politicians who do not seem to stick to the things they say decided to do very incredible stuff to rubbish the entire exercise. All right, we'll talk about these and many more. I will be speaking with Darlington Wauju, the embattled publicity secretary of the APC, as it relates to the political situation in Rivers State. So you want to stay tuned because he's got some interesting commentaries he has been making in recent times, and we want to, we want to talk about that, all of that. Just stay tuned.